Hi, I'm Valerie,
And I'm Taylor.
and welcome to
Whimsy Gossip
where we talk all things fantasy.
and our favorite ways to escape reality.
Grab a cup of tea and let's dive into it.
Books 3, 4, and 5 in the ACOWAR series.
Mm, I can't freaking wait. There's just so much to cover. There's literally so much to cover.
Hopefully, this episode is not going to be like 3 hours long because there is that much to cover in each book.
honestly, we probably will need a part two. If I'm being honest,
We
there's so much
could do
more.
a whole book on Silver Flame or a whole podcast on Silver Flames.
We
I
can
would
write a
not be
book
opposed.
or writing books.
We can write a book about Silver Flames. How much I love it.
Yes. Well, okay. So, spoiler alert, if you have
Oh, yeah.
not read books 3, 4, and 5, turn off everything right now and go read the books and then come back to this episode, okay?
Yes.
I am
Also,
prepared. I
yeah,
have
I was gonna
my
say.
look at our little merch.
Like,
It's not our merch, it's somebody else's on Etsy, but
this is from Say
yes.
It Simply Co.
Love that. Mine
It
is
says,
the Cereal Tea Co. And I've got High Lord hot tea. It's just perfect. Spilling all the tea. This is what we love to do on Whimsy Gossip. So
well,
I
this
just
one just says to the stars who listen, but it is made by Say It Simply Co. So, anyone who's interested, it is really cute. Like the quality, came super fast.
yeah.
10 out of
Yeah,
10.
mine came really fast too. Mine's like a really nice quality little sweater. It's rainy and chilly today, so it's like the
Yeah.
perfect day to wear this sweater. But I love it.
Yeah.
It says
I'm excited
hot
to
or
like,
cold, always fresh. I love it so much.
I love wearing these kind of things and then going out in public. And then when people are like, I like your shirt, and you're like, yes, you are my people.
You
Like,
are my people. Yeah, I've found you. Okay, so let's dive right in. So we are going to start with obviously A Court of Wings and Ruins. No, book 3, which to me, honestly, it's so I don't know, it's so close to Mist and Fury for me.
mhm,
Honestly, book 2, 3, and 5 are just
so good.
fire. So good.
They're
But
just silver
there's
flames.
so much to cover. So if you don't recall or don't remember, we have last left our heroes. Kind of Farah is now infiltrated the Spring Court. They have just had the Highburn situation happen where her sisters were turned into High Fae. Her sisters are with Rhysand. And essentially everybody, they're still preparing for war with Highburn and all of this. So, yeah, so right when we start off of the book, it's Farah in Tamlin's Spring Court, and she is my least favorite person in the world the first couple chapters of this book, but also I also like some of the stuff she does. So there's a lot to unpack there.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is the one
I don't. Do you
part
want
where
to start there or?
I cannot stand Farah in the beginning of this book with the whole spring court
Yeah.
because we said this in our Tamlin episode, but all I can think of is how selfish it is. You can forget how you feel about Tamlin, but going in and infiltrating and ruining his court, you not only are ruining a court and an area for all the people that live there, all the citizens of the Spring Court are now getting displaced because of her
Right.
vengeance and her revenge trope she's on, whatever. She's now displacing all these people, all these families are now going to have to flee their court where they felt comfortable and safe for years. They're now fleeing because of her. She's
Yeah.
literally ruining a court that's going to help be an alliance to them and have extra people and guards and
Yeah.
during Highburn, and at one point Farah was literally calling the Spring Court people her people, and she had
Right.
empathy
Yeah.
towards these people and during the tithe and everything. And I'm like, how do you go from caring so much about them to being so selfish in your revenge on Tamlin
Right.
to just destroying their livelihood too? Oh, okay. I'm getting off my soapbox and my high horse, but I'm not going to lie. I was very, very angry at her at that point.
No, I completely understand. Like, I remember going into work and I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, I am not okay with this. Like, the manipulation for me. I think also
Yeah.
because I knew where Tamlin was coming from, as you know, if you want to hear more about that, episode 1. But like, I understood where he was coming from when he did what he did. Yes, it was a mistake. Yes, it ended up, not going the way that he planned. But like, I just knew where his heart was at. And so it just really upset me that she was playing him like that. And also they have like, I think a scene where he's like playing music or like the mute, like, and dancing and things like that. And I think they dance together. And they have like some really nice little moments where it just makes me really upset. And I think Tamlin's like really trying and really like trying to show that he's like, it is different and it's going to be different now. And he's like very respectful of her and like doesn't touch her and doesn't like, he's like very respectful and giving her distance and things like that. And again, like the stuff that she does with Lucian, I really hate.
Oh,
That whole situation is just really messed up. And yeah, I just really didn't like her at all. It was an interesting time though. Like it was an interesting part of the book because you were kind of wondering like what was going to happen next.
hmm. I don't like how
So
she treated Lucian. That really bothered me because it really severed that relationship between Tamlin and Lucian.
yeah,
And I'm like, that is so mean. Like, you care so much about Lucian, but you were so quick to just ruin his friendship with one of his
I'm
best friends.
gonna
And like the
ruin
only,
your friendship.
yes, but like one of his only like family that he had left before
Yeah,
he left the Arden
yeah.
court. Like, and Elaine is not accepting his mating bond right now. So you're going to go and take him to the night court.
Mhm.
You just, I mean, obviously Lucian had his own free will to go to the night court. Like
Sure,
she
sure,
didn't
yeah.
make him. But at the same regard, I was like, girl, like come on, have some grace, have some class. Like you don't have
Yeah,
to get revenge just because someone did you wrong. Sometimes you don't
right.
find peace that way. You really don't ever find peace when you're seeking revenge.
Agreed, completely agreed. And I think that later on in the other books, you can see like the aftermath of the Spring Court being destroyed. And honestly, yes, Tamlin did blow up. And yes, she pushed him to that edge and she
Mm-hmm.
let him, she didn't protect herself, right? She didn't shield herself. And yes, that was absolutely an incorrect response. But like we can see the aftermath of what happened because of what Farah did, and obviously Tamlin has responsibility for that as well.
Yeah, it takes
um
two to tango.
it takes two to tango.
But she
But
was
i
purposefully pushing
I
him.
was
I'm
very frustrated, yeah, like,
so annoyed.
yeah. And she was just so like happy about it too, like her
Yes.
mind being in her head just really was really tough for me at that point. And I would
Because
have loved again to see Tamlin's side of it.
I don't think I could ever do that to someone. And like, I guess Feyre and I have different like moral compasses, but like I'm very much like a people pleaser. I'm very much like, okay, our relationship ended. I wish you nothing but the best. You know, you stay over in your corner of the world. I'll stay in my corner of the world, quite literally. And we just coexist when we have to. Like that's just how I would take it. And obviously, you can see Tamlin was trying to learn and trying to grow by giving her those moments of what's it called? Like not touching her and really
Yeah,
just
like giving
taking a
her
step back.
space.
Yeah, you can see he was definitely trying to like he was definitely in the process of learning and growing. Was he where he needed to be? Probably not
No,
yet. But
not yet.
in the same note, Reese is her mate. So Tamlin, I hate to tell you this, no matter what you do, honey, nothing is gonna work. Like I don't know, and
Yeah,
I just felt bad for her
but I think
the
he
whole
thought
situation.
everything was broken. Like,
Yeah,
he didn't know that the mating bond wasn't broken too in
yeah,
that
that's true.
moment. So he was like, okay, it's all broken, and we really are starting. I know people are like, come on, Tamlin didn't realize that she was faking it, and I'm like, when people want something so badly, they will like
Alter
believe it.
reality.
Like they will like not see the signs. Like I think he
Mhm.
just wanted to believe so badly that like they could still be what they were before. And I think he still believes that Rhysand sucks. I mean, still he has had no information to the contrary that Rhysand is still the worst. So I
Yeah.
think he just genuinely wanted to believe like, okay, she was just under his mind control. She wasn't, you know, and now
Yeah.
she's just been through this even other more traumatic experience with Rhysand. So, yeah, like I don't know that whole scene. But by the time we get to the forest scene where like Ianthe,
Well,
that I was very pleased with Farah, and I was like, yeah, you go, girl, like get it, like screw
well, the
Ianthe.
twins. If we could talk about the twins real
Okay,
quick,
yeah, go ahead.
they were so annoying. Oh my gosh. All I could think of was when I was reading this, I was like, when they cast these twins, they have to cast them so obnoxiously and entitled. And that
Yeah,
is going to also, I don't know why, but to me, I was like, ooh, this is going to be a crucial casting because I need to hate you from the jump.
yeah,
Like, I need to hate you. You need to be like beautiful and you need elegance and grace and powerful, but you need to be, I need to hate you. So, anyway, I just had to slip that in there. But yes,
sure, yeah,
Ianthe.
no, yeah.
Ianthe, with the Weaver again, I love that scene. I have a weird love for the Bone Carver, the Surreal,
Mm-hmm.
Bryaxis, and the Weaver. Like, tell me why I love these
All the
four.
oddball, like yeah, the
Oh
oddballs.
my gosh. Like, when the Surreal died, I cried. When the Weaver, and yeah, when the Weaver
Yes.
died, I cried about the Weaver. When the Bone Carver died, I cried about the Bone Carver. Literally, I think it's what, chapter 71 in this book. I don't know. Tell me why I remember these things, but it's like
Because you've
chapter.
read it twice.
Yeah.
Far
Um.
off places, daring
Mhm,
sword
so
fights,
fun. Might
prince
as
in
well.
disguise. Oh, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah. So
I
I have a
couldn't put it
weird
down.
love for the Bone Carver. I really do. I love him.
Yeah.
Um. And
Me too. Me
the
too.
Weaver, I would love a whole. Give me a novella on the Bone Carver and the Weaver and Bryaxis and the Surreal. Like, just give me a little
Mm.
one of these on all those characters. I would eat that stuff up so quick. Mm, they,
Fan fiction request.
I
People that can
know.
write stories.
I would love a backstory on the Weaver, a backstory on because they're death gods, I believe is what they were called. Okay, yeah, I would love to get a whole backstory essentially on. I think they're called the death gods. So,
Mm.
the Surreal obviously is not a death god, but he's like a creature from like the beginning of time. Like he's been around forever. But I love the Surreal, and I would love to know if he was born a Surreal, like if they are just born that way, or if something
Right.
happens to make them a Surreal, like something crazy happens. I would just love to know. But anyway, yeah,
So we just dove right in, but I do
we
have a
did.
couple questions. I do have a couple questions that I have here.
Okay.
So who was your favorite character in A Court of Wings and Ruin? I know who you're gonna say though. So
Okay, I love Cassian. Cassian will always be my number one
number
up here.
one.
Cassian's always up here. Let's just be real.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think in A Court of Wings and Ruin, Pharaoh is so annoying. I have different moments. If I could like split up like the beginning of the book, Pharaoh was absolutely not my favorite character.
No, 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 no,
I
no, no.
liked, I think in the beginning of the book, I want to say Tamlin or Lucian. Tamlin, because I loved seeing him try to be a better
Yeah.
guy. He
Right,
still
right.
blew up. It was not okay. But I love Lucian because no matter what, he stuck by Feyre and he was like, even though he was very skeptical of her, still I liked
Yeah.
Lucian. Um, and maybe even actually, we're gonna the beginning of the book with Cassian. Let's be real. It was Cassian. Um,
It's always gonna be Cassian for you, isn't it?
I don't Well, maybe not. I would just like to say that Sarah J. Maas, like Cassian, is her type of man, and she loves him. And I was like, oh, Sarah, me and you both, honey. But then I think I
Yeah.
liked. So they had the scene where they were all talking to the other High Lords, like the meeting. Um, I liked Nesta at that point because she stood up and she was like,
Mm.
I went into the cauldron. I saw Hybern's heart. I saw he wants to destroy and like get rid of both sides of the wall. And I was like, Nesta standing up. Yes, Nesta. And I liked more
Can
for
we take
her.
a freaking moment for that scene though? Can we take
Oh,
a freaking moment
oh.
for the High Lords meeting? Oh my God, I was so, ugh, I loved it.
When Feyre literally encompassed Baron in like the ball of like water and flame, and then Reese is like, "Come now, sweetheart, this is not a good idea," and like trying to act all like calm. And then I think he was like talking to her via his mind and was like, "Please put him down. He has no love. He has no joy in his life. We have joy. Okay, just forget what he says." Because Baron made a comment. Didn't he make a comment about Reese being like, "Oh yeah, if it goes bad, like with Amarantha, like it did with Amarantha, what is Reese gonna do? Like spread his legs or get on his knees for Hybern?" And I think
Yeah.
that's what like struck the chord with Feyre. And yeah, at
I
that point,
love who we're introduced to. Like I love that we're introduced to Helion and like he's a whole vibe. Like
I love
I think
him.
he's so fun.
I would
And
want to
like
be
the
his best
fact that we
friend
find out that he is Lucian's father, like, and nobody like tells Lucian, and I just for the life of me doesn't make sense.
because Helion would be a 10 out of 10 father compared to
10
Baron.
out of 10
Oh my
father.
gosh, could you
Like,
imagine? Like if Lucian was raised by Helion and not Baron.
why do you think they didn't tell him?
Well, no, because Baron would be embarrassed because that means his wife had an affair and he'd have to admit that his wife had an
No,
affair.
why didn't they tell Lucian?
I think it's maybe not the time or place, or maybe if Helion already knows that fact, it's more of a consideration to Helion to be like, do you want? Because then that if that gets out, then Baron, they're gonna have to deal with Baron and everything, and then that could definitely sever the alliance they have with Baron.
I don't know. I just feel like as like Farah being Lucian's friend, I feel like I would tell my friend if I suspected or
Absolutely.
knew of something. And I just think like Lucian's gone through so much in his life to find out that this terrible person is not actually his dad and those terrible brothers are not actually like his full brothers. Like I just feel like that would, and then his dad is Helion and he's like so cool and he's the sole heir to the day court. Like I just feel like that would make him happier. I don't know.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like I just don't
I think
understand
it
why they're
would, but
just
I
keeping
think
it from him.
again, I think it's because if they release that information, one, it's maybe not Feyre's secret to tell. It might be Helion's. Like if Helion is not ready to have that conversation, you never know. But Baron also, like, they're relying on his alliance for this massive war that's coming up. So I'm sure they're like, so yeah, it's Helion's secret to tell. It's not exactly Feyre or the inner circle secret, even though they all love Lucian. Um,
Yeah.
but I believe also that if they were to tell Lucian and it got out, then Baron essentially would then have to come to terms with letting everyone know that his wife had an affair, which makes him look like lesser than and he's too much of an
But Baron doesn't
egomaniac.
have to know though, like immediately. Like Lucian can know without Baron knowing.
Just in case it would get out, and then you now risk
Yeah.
like Baron and Helion then having like an angry, you know, spat, and then they're against each other. So then Baron sides with Hybern in the war, and it would just be a huge thing because I'm sure Lucian would go to his mother and be
But that
like,
doesn't make sense for by the time we get post war.
yeah, I don't know why. Again, I think it's because it's Helion's secret to tell. And like they're like, does
I
Helion
don't know.
know? Does he not? Like it's just more of like maybe it's a respect to him, like until Helion's in a place to confront that situation. And I'm sure maybe Helion's like, all right, I also have to take into consideration Lucian's mom, and I'm sure
I
he
just
has.
couldn't hold that. Like, if I knew
Oh,
that your dad wasn't your dad, Taylor, I would tell you immediately because that's just like,
I know.
I don't know. Like, that's just who I am, I guess, as like a friend. Like, I would feel like that's, yeah, sure, that's not my place or my secret to tell, but like, I know. And I feel like that's weird for me to know something that you don't know. It's so
Yeah.
important to you. Like, just like, if we're fast forwarding to book 5, with Nesta, like it
Yeah.
wasn't her secret to tell, but Farrah 100% deserved to know. And as if my sister was in that situation, I would tell her too. So it's like,
But I mean,
okay,
it was like a life or death situation where this one also, what if
sure.
Helion didn't want Lucian?
Yeah.
What if he's like, I don't want to be a dad? That's why he never married or anything. Like, what if he's like, I don't want to be a dad?
Well, too freaking bad because you have a son.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's
Too
so
bad.
many layers that we don't understand. Like, maybe Helion was like, ooh, I'm not ready to have a kid. And, you know, it just,
Yeah.
we don't know. There could be so many
This could
things.
be, yeah, we could go on probably for a while about this one,
Yeah.
but okay, let's move on. We can do another deep dive on this, if you guys are interested.
I'd love to hear
So
their opinions on it, though.
I know I'm curious to hear other
Because
people's
I
opinions. Like,
completely
what do you think?
understand where you're coming from. Like, I totally get it. Like, I feel like that would be a
I
hard.
am team Tellution. I am team Tellution. Because honesty is the best policy, and I
Is.
really hate secrets. And like, I'm just a very transparent person in my real, like in my day to day life. I'm just very transparent to my sometimes detriment. Like, I just, if I'm feeling something, it like obviously if somebody tells me, oh, please don't say something, like,
Mhm.
sure, I can keep a secret, but like I'm just very transparent and I just lay it all out on the table. So like
You do. Yeah. It's a
I
blessing,
just
though.
think
No, it's a
it's
blessing. It's not a
and a
detriment. It's a
curse.
blessing.
Sometimes it's a curse because like, I sometimes I spill too much. Maybe I'm like, oh, I should have just kept some things for myself. I don't know how to keep things for myself. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
Like I just bleh, word like it's like here it is. Like it's all over my face anyway. So I'm not good at hiding what I'm feeling. So even if I try to, I just like you can read it on my face, and then I'm just like, all right, well, here it is.
Yeah,
It's
that's my face is my giveaway all the time. Like, I'm always like, I like give this like awkward smile, and I'm always just like,
I
and
know,
then
me
like,
too.
it's like, and
They're
like
like,
people
so
that know me
what's
are always
wrong?
like, yeah, so what are you not telling me? And it's like, nothing. And they're like, yeah. Anyway,
It's like even yeah. I can't have anything. I don't know. I don't know. Any advice out there, or what do you guys think about that? Are you a more open and transparent person, or like do you hold everything to your core? I just
or do you say like, would you think that do we keep this from Lucian or do we tell Lucian?
yeah. In my opinion, I'm Team Tell Lucian. I think he deserves to know. I would want to know. I would be kind of pissed and upset if my friends were keeping that from me,
Yeah.
or like they had an inkling that that was the truth and they didn't say anything to me. Like you're not like
Or maybe Lucian knows
it's not
already
like you're
and he
not my
doesn't.
friend, but like if you, I'm gonna be mad. I would be mad. I would be like, why would you keep this from me?
Well, what if Lucian already knows and he's like, I don't want to be known as a bastard
I just
child.
don't think that I don't think he does. I just
Well,
don't think he
okay, so the
knows.
thing is, I have a feeling he might know just for the fact of, do you remember when they were researching? I think they were, maybe it was Feyre's pregnancy issue. For some reason, Lucian went to the day court, and Lucian has a really good relationship or something with the day court.
I don't. I don't
I'm
remember
gonna
this.
I'm gonna deep dive into that when this ends, and I will
Yeah,
come back.
let's
Okay.
deep dive. We'll do a deep dive into that later. Okay, so let's enough about Lucian. Even though I freaking love Lucian, and I'm just like I just want him to be happy and live happily ever after.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, what do you think was the most shocking moment in A Court of Wings and Ruin?
Oh my God, when Valaris got attacked, or when Rhys died, or when Amryn went into the cauldron, I literally thought Amryn was gonna die. I was like,
Yeah,
no. And then also when Amryn betrayed Feyre for a moment there, I really thought Amryn was turning around and betraying her, and I was like,
yeah.
Amryn, no, not you, Amryn. Like I was so heartbroken. I was convinced she was really betraying Feyre at that moment. And then when Amryn into the
I was
cauldron, I was
so confused about that scene. I was like, what the hell, Amryn? You're Rhysand's second. What are you doing?
I I know. It was so hard and it was heartbreaking and I was just like the
Yeah.
worst.
For me, I what comes to mind most shocking moment is when Nesta, Elaine, and Farrah's father joins the war with a
Papa
fleet of
Archeron.
ships named after each of his daughters. Like,
Oh, I have goosebumps. Papa Archeron, rest in peace.
I wasn't expecting that. And like, just, I don't know. For me, I don't know. A father's love like that was just so adorable to see after he had failed so much. But the fact that he was still trying, like, it
Hmm.
just, it makes me emotional. I just like, I don't know. I think it's because I have issues with my dad, but
Yeah.
like, I just think like that moment was like shocking. I wasn't expecting that, and neither were any of the Artron sisters. And then
No.
also I think Farrah, or not Farrah, Nesta's reaction to Cassian was shocking too for
Oh,
me. Like, I wasn't really expecting that either.
okay. If any of you have listened, because I have read the books twice and I have listened to the graphic audio. If you listen to the graphic audio when Nesta is crying out for Cassian, I don't think there has been any other moment in these books from the graphic audio that rips and tears at my soul and can send me into tears so fast because kudos to the voice actor because the
Yes.
emotion in there when she's just like Cassian, and I'm over here like, no,
Listening to
no.
that audio changed everything for me. So like, it
Mhm.
was not that dramatic in the normal audiobook, and I didn't realize there was dramatic versions yet when I was listening originally. So when you showed me that,
We
like,
were in a parking lot, and I was like, Valerie, I have to show you something because you've read this book so far, and I was like, you're gonna. This moment does it hurt you the way it hurts me because it
it
hurts me.
hurt me. It hurt me.
Yeah.
It hurt me so badly. Okay, so those moments are freaking crazy. There's so much. I didn't even realize how much. Why did we put these in one episode?
We
We're
should
gonna
have
have to
done
come
Wings and
back.
Ruin. Yeah, we should
We're
do
gonna
Wings and
have to.
Ruin.
We're gonna have to come back.
This might just be a Wings and Ruin episode.
Honestly, um, don't be mad if like we started out saying this is going to be these books and this is actually just Wings and Ruin. Yeah, do you want to just do Wings and
I think we
Ruin
should just do
today?
Wings and Ruin because let's be
I think
honest.
we should, because I feel like Silver Flames needs its own moment.
Maybe we can do like Frost and Starlight today too. We'll just do these two and then Silver Flames because it is primarily in Nesta's point of view. We'll do that its own book because you know how
It's
much I
so
love
different
Nesta.
from, yeah, okay. So let's get back into Wings and Ruin then. So
Wait.
so I would say what frustrated you the most about it, but I think what
Yeah,
frustrated me the most about it was Farrah in the beginning. I mean,
same.
duh. That
Yeah.
was what was frustrating. Um, Here is a controversial question.
Oh boy.
The audience, if they've been watching so far, should know our answer already. But a big question of this book is, did Tamlin redeem himself by saving Farrah?
And Elaine. And
Right.
Lucian.
Right.
And the other random girl. I think I definitely think he redeemed himself, and I think he showed he still cared. I think he showed at that moment whose side he was really on and who he was really fighting for. I would like that's not enough of a redemption story for me though. I need some more.
Mm-mm. Yeah, definitely.
What about you?
I think he not only redeemed himself in that moment, but he redeemed himself by saving Rhysand's life and telling
Okay.
Farrah to be happy.
Oh, at the very end of the book, absolutely. When he literally Feyre's like, please, I'll do anything. And at that moment, he could have literally asked for anything. And all he said is, be happy, Feyre. Like,
I don't understand why people hate him still. I don't understand. Like,
I
that
get
was
it. He
just,
did wrong in the beginning, so to speak. Like, yes,
yes.
and I get it. That happens. And like, he may have some like undertones, but we were seeing him from someone's eyes who that wasn't her mate. So when Tamlin meets his mate, he could be a totally different person. And it's just when you like meet the right person, not saying like your actions because you're with the wrong person are ever forgiven, but like there's a reason. Like no, it's still
But
unexcusable.
if he was a bad person, he would not have saved Feyre and all of them, and he also would not have saved Rhysand's life
No, he would not.
and asked for nothing in return. He just
Not
did
just
it. He didn't
wanted
have
her to be
to.
happy.
He didn't have to do that.
No,
He
not at
could have
all.
just been like, screw you. And that's why it's like people are like, oh, he was such a jerk in the meeting with the High Lords. And I was like, he was angry. He was
Yeah.
angry.
I mean, I would be angry. I would be very
Yeah.
angry if someone came
Yeah.
in, deceived me, took my best friend / family, ruined my entire court. I would also be angry.
Yeah. And like, I think the fact that he can go from being that angry to when push comes to shove, he's doing right. Whereas Feyre, in her anger, did wrong to him and the court.
Yeah, because you can't tell me. So I feel like at that point, again, from being in toxic relationships, like, and as someone who's been in toxic, unhealthy relationships and is now in the healthiest relationship and married to like a golden retriever, pure human being, I can tell you.
We love Ronald. We
We
love
love
Ronald.
him. He's so perfect. He's also, our husbands are like our number one fans of our podcast. It's so cute. Um, but anyway, I can testify and wholeheartedly say that when you are healed from the trauma that person caused you, you don't hold resentment towards them, like in that regard. Like, I guess, like in certain cases, like if they literally beat you and assaulted you and did horrendous things, maybe, but like just from like a bad breakup, like maybe you were like not like, well, verbally abused, emotionally abused, mentally abused. Like, I mean, I kind of went through a slew of those things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I can say I've reached a point at my life where I'm at peace and I'm just kind of like, I just want you to be happy, be in your corner, be happy, get away from me. Like, don't have anything to do with me, but just be happy. And I feel like Tamlin reached that point. Like, he's found his peace, found his closure, and he's willing to say, like, just be happy. Like, at one point, I had so much love for you that I want you to be happy. Clearly not with me, but like just be happy. And if Reese is what makes you happy, then absolutely you just be with Reese, and that's that. So I think that was a really good point of growth for Tamlin. So.
I totally agree. And I think he's still like obviously going through a lot. As we can see, he doesn't, he's still kind of just, but I think it has a lot to do with, I think that it's not just Farah as to why he's so broken. I think he already was breaking and broken before that. Farah just triggered that even further. Yeah. And I think the destruction of his court is what really why he's failed. Feels like a failure. He
never wanted to be king.
It's more than just Farah. It's more than just Farah. Like, he is just done. I think he's just done with like life right now. He's just like, you know what? Like, my court's in ruins. The girl I loved left me, and we had, and then I also feel guilt for how all that went down. He probably feels so much guilt for how everything went down with Feyre. So it's like, he's just like, and he's like, the freaking blight, the curse. Then Ianthe comes in, ruins. I mean, like, he's like, I just keep making wrong decision after wrong decision. He's like, you know what? Flips table. Yep. I'm done. That's how I feel like Tamlin's at right now. He's just like, I'm just going to be a beast. I'm just going to roam, and I'm just not doing this anymore. I can't do this.
He never wanted to be High Lord.
Obviously, I suck at it. Right. He's like, obviously, I'm not good at it. So the Spring Court's probably better off without me. I'm just going to go do my own thing over here. And like, that's where he's at right now. And it sucks.
Yeah. Anyway, can we talk? I saw this fan theory about Elaine,
Okay.
and that the reason why she is so depressed when she comes out of the cauldron is because now that she is a seer, she has predictions of like the future, and she sees that her dad is going to die by the hands of Hybern. And that is why
Mm.
she is grieving the entire loss of her dad before she loses him, because she is just broken. And I think it predicts, so I marked something. It was in chapter 30. It's when they're all chatting, and then Cassian says it'll no, Nesta says he snapped her wings and broke your bones. And then Nesta gets all like uncomfortable about it. And then Cassian says to her, "It'll take more than that to kill me," Cassian said with a smirk that didn't meet his eyes. And Elaine only said to Cassian, "No, it will not." As in, I think she saw the future that Nesta and Cassian, I think Hybern was going to kill them right then and there. And I think that's why she knew where to
Wow.
show up. Truth teller Azriel's blade, and I think that's why she knew where to show up with Hybern, and I think she knew that her dad would have to die to send Nesta into this rage of unknown like power and everything, to give them
Wow.
enough time, or to give her enough time to get where she need. Like she just saw the sequence of events, and she knew Cassian and Nesta were going to die, and that it would not take more than
Yeah.
that, just unless I will literally riot and throw the book against the wall, and I will have to have a serious one-on-one chat with Sarah J. Maas if that was foreshadowing. I can't even think about this. Foreshadowing for like the next book when they have the big war and Cassian does die.
No. You would riot. You would riot.
I'm gonna cry thinking about
I
it.
think that's a great point though. Like I think that's something that is like a little bit overshadowed when thinking about this book, but it is a big part of it. Like I think a lot of people, and we can talk too more about this. We're gonna have an episode about Endgame for Elaine, but I think it is important in this book to talk about that with Elaine and the fact that she is a seer. And I think that doing a reread, you would look at things differently because I think Elaine really frustrates me really like a lot as well because she's just kind of, but it makes sense now. Like I think because when we were reading it, we didn't really know that she had that ability, you know, for a little bit, and so and we didn't know obviously that what was going to happen and what she saw, and so that makes complete sense why she was so withdrawn and so sad and so depressed. It was not only because she's mourning her human life and her human lover and everything like that, but yeah, she was seeing the future and it was going to be horrible. um
Excuse me while I
I think
just
that
can't.
that
I
was
can't even. I'm over here literally lost in my
like,
thoughts. Like, if Cassian dies, Nesta will literally become Lady Death. We will see Nesta will awaken.
but she gave up her
Not all of
powers.
it.
Like she gave up most of her
Oh, I don't
powers.
think so.
Yeah, but most of
I
it.
don't think so. I have a
She
feeling, I
traded
know, but
it.
I have a feeling the cauldron, she has some connection to the cauldron and the dread trove and all that. I don't think she really did. And I think if we lose Cassian, and I can't even imagine Sarah J. Maas breaking my heart like that, because she hasn't done that to me yet with any of the other characters I love.
But if she loves Cassian, she's probably not going to kill him off. So
I
you're
hope
going to be
not. But
fine.
anyway, I think we would see Nesta becoming a new, the scariest version and the scariest character maybe in this Sarah J. Maas universe, because I could see her wielding the
Yeah.
crown, the mask, the swords. Like literally, she is gonna wear all the things.
She just
She's gonna have the
goes
harp. She will
ham.
have the harp on
Yeah.
her. She'll have everything. And let me tell you, Nesta, whoever they are like battling, Nesta would come out rising the dead at the same time, turning his armies against her, portaling through all these different portals, grabbing people from all these different realms to help her, and taking her
Yeah.
sword and
She would go
raining
crazy.
that. Like, we would see a whole new side of Nesta that I don't think
Whole side of
anyone
Nesta.
would want
Yeah.
to see, because she would literally become Lady Death, like just death. Whew.
Well, that is not going to
Okay, just
happen,
saying.
but that would be freaking epic. Let's talk though, back to Wings and Ruin for a second. Something that's really kind of was interesting to me, and I feel like we did not get a full good look or explanation about Farah and the mirror.
Oh, I know.
What are your thoughts about that? What do
Oh,
you think happened?
yes. I don't know how to pronounce that. At Aber.
I don't know.
Oh, the
I don't even remember
Ouroboros.
what
Yeah, the
it.
Ouroboros. That's what it was.
Ouroboros, yeah, with
Ouroboros.
something.
I can like
Yeah,
visually see
yeah.
the word, and I was like,
What the heck is up with the damn mirror?
because so you know how like Reese has his side, and it's scary. Like Reese is really like when he has his wings, that's not unleashing his full beast. You know how like when they're in the battle and it's him and Helion, and they say like Helion is this white and gold like feathered bird thing, and that's his quote unquote beast, and Tamlin has his beast, and like because they're high lords, they all have this beast form. And Reese's beast form is like black bat wings, like fangs, and scary and scaled and absolutely like terrifying looking. And I think that beast
Yeah.
form that Feyre saw in the Ouroboros, I think that was her High Lady beast form. And I think
Mmm.
she had to come to terms with it because it's molded, her beast form is molded from all the horrible things that she has done and how she views herself. And that
Yeah.
is her darkest and worst version of herself. And by unleashing your beast form, it's accepting all of you for who you are and like all your dark and scary and not good parts. And I think the Ouroboros was like, because Thayer's never released that side of her. And I think the Ouroboros
Yeah.
was essentially
Yeah.
like, all right, confront this version of yourself, and then maybe in the next book when we have that next big war coming, um we'll see Feyre really coming to terms with this dark side of herself and unleashing this beast form. God forbid something happens to Nyx. I could see Mama Feyre being like, oh, you have seen nothing. If you
So, what was your favorite moment in the book?
This is going to be a very weird favorite moment. I just have a feeling, but I thought it was very touching, and I think it'll be very epic played out on screen. Is when Rhysand gives his speech to everyone about like if I had never met an Illyrian warrior, if I had never met a shadow singer, like when he's talking about like meeting everyone and giving everyone so much like praise and like his thanks to being with them for like being his family. And also when on the battlefield, Feyre and Rhys both realized they made bargains and everything with the Bone Carver, the Weaver, and Bryaxis. And they're like, I didn't get you a gift, but oh, here you go. Oh, I also got you a gift. And that moment, I could just see it being epic and seeing like
Yeah.
I guess like the way it played out in my head is like some epic music, and then them holding hands or kissing and standing side by side watching as the Highburn soldiers retreat as these literal terrifying death gods like Bryaxis and the Bone Carver smiling with her pointy bloody teeth like chomping at them, even though she's gorgeous and looks beautiful from the outside. Like how scary she must be when she smiles, and they realize like, oh shoot, I'm in trouble. And then the Bone Carver, though he comes as like a strapping Illyrian man, they know who he is, and he has his like, you know, bones he's wielding and everything. And I just imagine that moment being quite epic. What about you?
So, I'm actually going to wrap this episode up with a hot
Oh boy.
take. Because you know what? Like, I just have to say this, and I really want to hear other people's thoughts. Like, people might come for me in the comments about this one, but like, this really frustrated me as just like a human.
Your favorite part frustrated you?
And
What?
no, this is not my favorite part. I'm not talking about my favorite part. This is, I think, my second most frustrating part. I have a part two to my most frustrating,
I
and
thought
I
you
just
just
have
said
to
that.
address
What
it.
was your
Like, we're not here to play it safe. We're not here to play it safe. We're here to spill the tea. So, what do
Did
you
you
mean?
ask me what my favorite part was?
Yeah, but I have
Oh,
to
okay,
take
okay.
this, and I know we have to wrap this one up soon. So I just want to do this hot take
Oh boy.
really quick. Okay, more. Can we talk about more in this book? okay, her and Farrah have this moment where Farrah is asking, like, why did you do that? Like, why don't you want to be with Azriel? And I am so frustrated with Moore because, like, and Farrah, honestly, because this is not how I would have reacted at all. Like, the fact that Moore, she says, oh, well, I'm just more attracted to women and I'm not with, and that's why I can't be with Azriel. But the fact that, like, it's been 500 years and you have not told this man this, and he's been pawning after you for 500 years, and you've also been hurting him by sleeping with Cassian and sleeping with Helion. What the heck? I do not respect that. I do not like that. And, like, the fact that Farrah's just like, oh, whatever, you're fine. Like, no, like, I get that people, need to take time to, like, come to terms with,
their
whatever they
sexuality.
got going on and their sexuality and how they feel. But 500 years, okay? And, like, this is somebody who you love and is very close to you. Like, I just think that is so messed up that, like, Azriel this whole time is thinking it's something to do with him and he's getting hurt constantly, when really it's something that has nothing to do with him at all. And I don't understand why she can't just tell him the freaking truth and be like, look, I love you. I just can't love you in the way that you
want me to love you.
Need me to.
She doesn't even have to necessarily come out to him. Yeah, she doesn't, like, if she's not ready to come out, and I completely understand it, that's her choice and her decision when she can. She could at least, I get your point where you're like, you could at least have a conversation with Azriel and being like, look, it's nothing against you. I just can't be what you want me to be and give you that love that you need right now. Like, that actually, that would be.
Yeah. But 500 years, but you can tell Farrah, who you just met, but you can't tell Azriel, who you've been with for so long. Cassie and Rhysand, these are your family. How can you tell Farrah, who you had just met, and you can't tell Azriel?
That's true.
That, to me, like, I
but
don't
like
understand.
Again, she
maybe that's a controversial hot take, but I just think that was just, as a human, just, like, not right.
I agree. I think that even if she wasn't ready to come out to them, because it is a very foreign thing in their world, and especially with her dad and her family, and I understand that, maybe she could have at least let him know in another way, like, it's just never going to work between us. If she could have some kind of conversation like that with him, I think that would saved him a lot of heartbreak. But you never know. Maybe in the next book she's going to have, like, a whole conversation like that. Not saying she has to come out to everyone in the next book, but maybe have a conversation, which allows Azriel.
But as Farrah, like, Farrah's reaction really frustrated me too, because I was Farrah. I was sitting here listening to the book, and I'm just like, Farrah, what are you, like? I would be like, you need to tell him. I think that would be one of those things where I think that wouldn't be my place to say something to Az. Like, that is a situation, now that we're talking about the Lucian thing and then this. But I would certainly encourage her. I would at least encourage her. Farrah didn't even encourage her to tell Az. She was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that's not, like, I would be like, dude, you need to tell him, like, that's fucked up.
Yeah, it was kind of fucked.
That's what I would say. I'd be like, that's fucked up, and you need to tell him. That's what I would say. If you told me that, I would kill her.
At least
that's your friend of
at least years. Let him down.
So that's my
let him
take.
Down in another way. You don't have to come out to him or anything, but let him down in another way. Like, again, I agree. You don't have to come out. You don't have to say, like, this is why I don't like you. You can just politely let him know in another way, like, and because you love him, but you should do that to him, to free him,
Free him of this, and, like, I don't know. It's just
anyway, what is your favorite part of this book?
She's sleeping with everybody else.
What is your favorite part?
I had to spill the tea. I had to spill the tea on that part of the book. Let me know what you think. Please,
Val.
Don't come for me in the comments. But
Valerie, what is your favorite part?
My favorite part? I don't know.
I think I know. I know what your favorite part is.
How do you know what my
7 High Lords meeting?
I think that was so fun. That was really fun. That was, like, very spicy. I loved that.
And because can you imagine
that was one of
the song Seven Devils by Florence and the Machine playing during that High Lords meeting?
I wish we had the money to do all of the scenes of our ideas and all of the music videos we want to do with ACOWAR. I really wish.
They would hire
But
somebody.
my favorite scene, yeah, I really cannot think of one besides that. That's the one I was most excited to see. Um, I also really love the Ianthe scene. I really love when she puts Ianthe in her place. That was a good scene for me as well. Like, I liked that a lot. And like the whole epic battle was
When Ianthe's hands get like crushed
epic.
and they're just like, I wonder how that happened.
Yeah, I think between the seven High Lords meeting and Ianthe getting demolished by Farah, those are my two favorite moments from the book. Yeah. So, any other last minute thoughts on this book before we wrap it up?
My AirPods keep falling out today. I love Silver Flames so much because I love seeing this from Nesta's point of view. I love Mist and Fury because I love seeing, Feyre and Rhys fall in love. But I have to say, I also love Wings and Ruin because there is just so much going on in this book. Like, how many pages is it? I know it's not as thick as, I don't think it's as thick as,
It's not as much as
yeah,
Silver
it
Flame.
looks like it is 699 pages. Oh, wait, we didn't talk about Rhys dying. Huh.
Well, yeah, we talked a little bit about it with Tamlin, but like,
Can we talk about it? I'm pretty sure it was on page. Correct me if.
for some reason, I just was like, "Ugh, he's not dead.
Hear me out.
I was like,
This
he's
is
gonna
not,
come back.
I'm a person for symbolism. On page 666, the last line is, and Rhys was dead.
That is genius.
I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but I noticed that when I was reading it and I was like, what? And then I was like, 666. Ooh, something does not feel right about that. I don't like that.
Yep, there you
But
go.
anyway, yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. I honestly didn't think he was dead. I knew he was going to be able to come back for some reason. So honestly, it didn't shock me that much. I was just like, all right, he's coming back. Amryn shocked me more than
I thought Amryn was definitely dead, and I was crying over that.
I was like, they can't kill Rhys Sand. They're not going to kill Rhys Sand.
I don't know.
Maybe I was a little shocked, but then I was like, oh, he's fine.
Yeah.
He's fine. Because people, like, honestly, the people that were around me that had read it, they didn't seem devastated. So I was like, he's probably fine. Okay. There's more books. He's probably all right. No way.
They better not kill Cassian.
And even when Farah was dying or whatever, I was like, Farah's not dying.
Oh, and ACOWAR?
Farah's not dying. Yeah, I was like, Silver Flames. I was like, Farah's not dying.
I don't know.
They're fine. They have book powers. They have main character energy. Can't kill them. Main character powers. They're fine. So anyway, there's so much more. There's always so much more. I think
we got to wrap it up.
We got to wrap it up. But I love Wings and Ruin. I think it's phenomenal. That was amazing. The war was epic. I'm so glad that they won. Rest in peace to their father. That was really freaking tragic. I think that was a shocking moment for me. And yeah, I just freaking love this book. Mist and Fury is number 1. Wings and Ruin. I think that's like close tied for number 2, and then it's like Silver Flames for me. I give this book a 5.
Oh, it was so good. I have to say, one, can we just laugh at how we definitely were planning on 3, 4, and 5 being in one podcast? We were like, we're going to do 3 books.
I know, but it's like been like 45 minutes already on this basically Wings and Ruin. So
thanks for tuning in.
Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with us? Do you hate us? Did we spill tea? Did we not? I mean, I don't know.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, what are your thoughts
on the books?
All of
Rank your favorite books in the order of like your favorite ones below. Like, let us know which ones are your favorites versus not. And if you want to tell us why they're your favorites, that would be cool too.
Yeah. Let us know what your favorites are. Let us know your thoughts, obviously. And yeah, we'll catch you next week. I love you, Taylor, so much. Follow us on Spotify,
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all the things.
And all the things at Whimsy Gossip.
I'll catch you guys in the night court next week.
Ooh! I love that. All right. Bye, everyone.